In your bachelor's degree program, you are working on completing two sets of requirements at the same time. On the one hand, you are completing your general education and other university-wide graduation requirements, the coursework students in every major complete, where you get to think across disciplines, integrate information from other fields, learn to reason and think critically. It is what makes you a well-rounded, liberally educated student and is a big part of your undergraduate education. Then, on the other hand, you are completing your major requirements, the coursework in your discipline and specific to your field. That particular set of courses configured especially for your area of study, and only you and the students in your program are taking them in that exact arrangement. When you take both your major requirements and your general education and other university-wide graduation requirements and put them together, they comprise your bachelor's degree. So your bachelor's degree is more than just your major. Appendix E in its all academic is a worksheet laying out your general education and other university-wide graduation requirements. We are going to go over it together, showing you where courses that are required for your major will also apply toward fulfilling a general education requirement, as well as identifying where you will have to figure out what course you will take to meet that general education requirement. Here we go. Every student must complete 36 hours of general education coursework. Those 36 hours come from these subject areas: quantitative and logical thinking, or math, English composition, social sciences and history, humanities and ethics, and natural sciences. For each subject area, you must complete two courses, one statewide core and one other additional FSU course. The statewide core comes from a small set of courses out of which you must select one. The other additional FSU course comes from the much broader assortment of courses with that subject area designation. Quantitative and logical thinking, or math. For your major, you are required to have MAC 1105 college algebra or higher and statistics. College algebra will apply as your statewide core, as will analytic trigonometry, pre-calculus algebra, and calculus 1. Introduction to applied statistics, or fundamental business statistics, will apply as your second math. English composition. ENC 1101, freshman composition and rhetoric, is the statewide core. ENC 2135, research, genre, and context, applies as your second English composition. ENC 1102, freshman writing, reading, and research, which you already may have earned credit for through AP, IB, ACE, or dual enrollment, will not apply here. Social sciences and history. Though this is a single subject area, it is divided into two, and you must have a course from both social sciences and history. If you do a social science for the statewide core, then the other additional FSU course must be a history, or vice versa. For your major, you are required to have general psychology. General psychology is a social science statewide core and will apply there. So the other additional FSU course will need to be a history course. It will be up to you to choose what history course you will take to meet the requirement. If you have already earned history through AP, IB, ACE, or dual enrollment, it will apply here. Humanities and ethics. This is also a single subject area, but that is divided into two, and you must have a course from both ethics and humanities. There are no courses in your major that apply toward this subject area. As option A indicates, if you do a humanities for the statewide core, it must be one of the 5 in the list. And then the other additional FSU course must be an ethics from among the much broader assortment of ethics courses. As option B indicates, if you do an ethics for the statewide core, it must be PHI 2010 Introduction to Philosophy. And then the other additional FSU course must be a humanities from among the much broader assortment of humanities courses. It will be up to you to decide which way you want to satisfy this requirement. Natural sciences. You are in a science-based major with lots of science courses, and many of them apply toward fulfilling this requirement, including among them general chemistry, biology, and physics, for example. Each of them is required in one or more of our majors, and all apply here. You are required for your major to have HUN 1201 Science of Nutrition, and it will apply as your other additional FSU course in science. Additional approved general education hours. You are required to have 6 additional general education hours, which is 2 courses. You have a number of required major courses that will apply. Since the science statewide core only requires 1 course, and you will have more than one, the biology, for example, can apply toward the 6 additional hours. For your major, you are required to have FAD 2230, Family Relationships. FAD 2230 is designated as a general education social science, so it will apply here. You will not need to search for, find, and take courses to apply toward this requirement. You have them covered. Those are the general education subject areas. You also have to complete other university-wide graduation requirements. State-mandated writing. You have to complete 2 state-mandated writing courses, which are writing intensive. We denote these with a W. You may have already met a portion or all of this requirement with credit you have earned through AP, IB, ACE, or dual enrollment, for example, with ENC 1102 or WOH 1023, The Modern World to 1850, which is a history course. Other examples of FSU courses that are Ws include CLA 2010, Debates About the Past, Greek Civilization, which is a history course, or HUM 3321, Multicultural Film, which is a humanities course. These are just examples. If you have not already met this requirement with credit you have earned through AP, IB, ACE, or dual enrollment, then you will have to search for, find, and take courses to apply toward this requirement. Scholarship and practice and formative experience. You have to take 1 course that is designated scholarship and practice and also engage in 1 formative experience. Or you can do 2 scholarship and practice courses. Courses designated scholarship and practice are classroom-based and have an emphasis on the practical application of what you are learning. So for SIP courses, you have to produce some kind of outcome. Science course, science project. Art course, art project, and so forth. Formative experiences are experiential, involving the application of what you have been learning in the context of a practical setting, like an internship, field experience, practicum, or research laboratory. An example of a scholarship in practice course is Biology 2 Lab, which is required in the exercise physiology major. A variety of courses have been designated scholarship in practice. For example, CLA 2110 and HUM 3321, which are also Ws. You may have already noticed and will want to note that some courses have more than one requirement designation and can apply toward meeting more than one requirement. CLA 2110, for example, would apply as a general education history, state mandated writing, and scholarship and practice, and could apply in all three areas. Examples of a formative experience are the nutrition practicum in the dietetics major, where students do things like nutrition education in local elementary schools, or the athletic training clinical 4, where athletic training students are working as student trainers with a sports program. It is unlikely that you will already have earned credit through AP, IB, ACE, or dual enrollment that would apply toward this requirement, and will have to search for, find, and take an SIP course and/or arrange for and set up a formative experience. Diversity. You have to take 2 courses that focus on multiculturalism. There are 2 kinds of multicultural courses at FSU. Those that focus on cross-cultural studies, looking at multiculturalism outside of Western culture. We denote those with an X, and those that focus on diversity in Western society, looking at multiculturalism within your own Western experience. We denote those with a Y. WOH 1023 would be an example of an X. It is also a general education and state mandated writing and could apply toward all 3. An example of a Y is HUM 3321, that multicultural film course, which is additionally a humanities, state mandated writing, and scholarship and practice, and could apply toward all 4. Amazing! We love those kinds of courses. You may or may not have already earned credit that will apply. If not, then you will have to search for, find, and take courses that will apply. Civic literacy. The purpose of the civic literacy requirement is to ensure that students understand the basic principles of American democracy and how they are applied in our Republican form of government. That students understand the US Constitution, that students have knowledge of the founding documents and how they shaped the nature and functions of our institutions and self-governance, and that students understand landmark Supreme Court cases and their impact on law and society. Ways to satisfy this requirement include having earned credit for POS 1041, American National Government, AMH 2020, a history of the United States since 1877, through AP, CLEP, or dual enrollment, or from FSU, or taking the US Citizenship and Immigration Services Naturalization Test, Civic Literacy exam, administered at FSU's testing center at no charge. Natural Science Laboratory. You have to take at least 1 natural science laboratory. All of our nutrition, food, and exercise sciences majors include lots of labs. General Chemistry 1 lab is required for each of our 4 majors. So that will apply, as will all the rest, but only 1 is required for this area. Upper division writing. The purpose of the upper division writing requirement is to ensure you develop competence with the professional writing skills more particular to your field. You can confer with your academic advisor for help with identifying an upper division writing course to take. But it is unlikely that you will take an upper division writing course until a little later into your program. An example of an upper division writing course would be CHM 2211, Organic Chemistry 2 Lab, which is required in the Dietetics and Food and Nutrition Science major, and an option in the Athletic Training and Exercise Physiology majors. Oral communication competency. The purpose of the oral communication competency requirement is to ensure that you develop your ability to clearly transmit ideas and information orally in a way that is appropriate to the topic, purpose, and audience. You have a variety of options for satisfying this requirement. The most common way is with SPC 1017, Fundamentals of Speech. Or an example of an alternative to that might be the CLA 2110, Debates About the Past, Greek Civilization. Or CLA 2123, Debates About the Past, Roman Civilization. In both CLA 2110 and CLA 2123, students engage in debates. And so the presentations of those oral arguments meet the oral communication competency requirement criteria. In addition to oral communication competency, CLA 2110 is also a history, a state-mandated writing, and a scholarship and practice, and would apply in all four areas. Examples of other courses our students typically take to meet the requirement are SPC 2608, Public Speaking, SPC 2067, Communication in Art and Design, COM 2080, Online Communication and Presence, NUR 3076, Communication and Healthcare, and CLA 2123. Computer competency. The purpose of the computer competency requirement is to ensure you have proficiency in working with a number of computer applications in a variety of settings across different platforms. In our particular majors, there are a couple of labs, namely Biology 1 lab and General Chemistry 1 lab, that apply toward meeting this requirement. Students who do not take one or the other or both take either CGS 2060 Computer Fluency or CGS 2100 Microcomputer Applications for Business and Economics to meet the requirement. These are the general education and other university-wide graduation requirements. Every student is completing these requirements as part of their bachelor's degree program. The other set of requirements that you are completing at the same time as these are the requirements for your major. Now we are going to look at those.